Chair Conant.
Present.
Commissioner Baumgarten.
Here.
Commissioner Cochran. Commissioner Elphick.
Here.
Commissioner Munger.
Here.
Commissioner Wooten.
Here.
Commissioner Zagenmeyer.
Commissioner Cochran leads in the Pledge of our Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
God.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We have approval of the agenda, please. We have a motion by Munger,
I'll second that.
second by Wooten. We'll just do, we don't need a roll call, right? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Okay, minutes. Is there any questions on the minutes that were as they were mailed or emailed? We have a motion? Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Okay. Recommendation approval, oh, we did that, okay. Number 4 is public comment. Members of the public are invited to address the commission on any matters of interest that the public is not on the agenda. No action may be taken, and it may not exceed 5 minutes. Pursuant to the Brown Act, commissioners cannot take any action on any item listed on the post agenda. But, well, this one's worded a little differently. May add to future agenda and matters brought before under public comment for appropriate action at a future meeting. Any public comment? Seeing none, moving on to item number 5. Consideration of amendments to staff services agreement between Sutter LAFCO and the city of Yuba City. Doug, are you doing this one?
I will take care of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
First, Commission, I wanted to introduce Fritz Javiano with County Counsel's Office, representing as LAFCO counsel today, sitting in for Bill. So this item really is a housekeeping item. You remember it was July of last year where the commission entered into a contract with Sutter LAFCO. This is a follow-up to that to really just say that when we have proposals being processed and there's a need to use other city staff. For example, it could be clerk services, could be helping to process a proposal, so a staff planner, that LAFCO would pay basically the fully burdened rate of those staff who are working on LAFCO proposals. That really is the update to the staff services contract. I'm happy to answer any questions, should there be any.
Through the chair? May I have a question?
Yes, please.
On that, you said the full bodied,
Fully burdened rate?
yeah, burden rate. Does the council here, does it have any ability to get like an estimate before all this happens?
So the rates will be calculated each fiscal year. So
Right.
currently, right now, as part of LAFCO's adopted budget, there's a budgeted amount for.
Right. But I'm talking about the man hours. You know, we know what the rates are. They're going to be
Correct.
calculated as. But say we have some kind of plan that needs to be looked at, and it's going to take additional staff, and we're going to tap into the city's staff. We're going to know ahead of time, who those staff members are, why, and also an estimate of time, so we know an estimate of cost.
So we can go to that. Typically, then it would be upon me as the executive officer to kind of oversee the use of staff. You're still going to, I would still be the one to oversee the work, review it, And we can certainly report the costs as far as a mid-year budget to show how much money is being expended, and we can certainly bring that forward.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Doug, that is a good point, but one thought I had is maybe we could have a line item where it would be, if it was under a certain amount per year, that would be approved, but if it was over that, then they'd have to come back before the commission? Or you think that's too cumbersome?
It's not going to be, so luckily with a smaller LAFCO, we have not had a lot of recent proposals. So probably the biggest use of staff time over this fiscal year that we're currently in is going to be going through the fire MSR process, which is going to basically be my time reviewing and providing feedback. So the use of the other time as other staff members is going to be far less. They are cheaper than, frankly, using me on some of the work. And honestly, it would save LAFCO money in the long run versus, but I would still be overseeing.
If the commission is concerned about what we're going to spend, maybe we could set up if it's less than this amount, we don't have to go back. But if it gets over that, then we would bring it back to the commission. But it's up to the commissioners how they feel. I don't.
Well, I think it's through the chair. I think it's been budgeted the whole amount for whatever happens to come
Staff
up.
services, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that I'm a cost person, and I like to know, what's going on and who we're using and how many dollars, so that we can report back to the people that, we keep an eye on it. We know what's happening.
So why don't I provide the commission with a mid-year budget update so you could see kind of the first part to see where the money is being expended.
And maybe an estimate of what the next.
And we could take a look at what we anticipate possibly for the next half of the fiscal year.
Perfect. I think that would go a long way.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much right now, but along the line, not maybe this year, but next 2 or 3 years, if the south end starts really developing, there could be some real costs going on.
Okay, we need a motion for that, Doug? Probably, yes.
Yes, please.
Okay, we have a motion to approve item number 5.
Well, I move to approve the amendment to the staff services agreement between Sutter LAFCO and the city of Yuba City.
We have a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Munger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Most passed unanimously. Okay, number 6. Appointment of commissioner to serve as a voting delegate for the California Annual Conference, LAFCO Conference, doesn't say that, but anyway, that's what it is. October 16th to 18th, 2024.
So before I get into this item, I should have mentioned for the last item that it had been unanimously approved by the city council at one of their last meetings. So that contract amendment has already gone to the city council for approval. Okay, so for agenda item 6, Cal LAFCO's annual conference is held in the fall of each year. This year it's going to be held at the Tenaya Lodge Fish Camp. That's about 32 miles south of Yosemite Valley, about an hour away from Yosemite Valley. And so the voting delegate is an individual, typically from the commission, who attends the conference, and Cal LAFCO is divided up into different regions. So for the Northern California region of Cal LAFCO, there's elected officials to Cal LAFCO, and this gives a chance for the voting delegate to cast their vote on behalf of Sutter LAFCO for that person who's going to sit in various positions with Cal LAFCO. There's still time to make reservations to attend the conference. So if anyone is interested, this would be the opportunity to let me know.
Is there any interest from the commissioners?
What is it, through the chair? I
Yeah.
believe it's almost, what is it, about 4.5 hour drive from here? 3.5. 3.5?
That's it?
Yeah, so it is.
No? I thought it was more than that.
Through the council, I mean,
Yeah.
I've been, I don't know how many of you have been there at one of these Cal LAFCO events. I've been there, and it's a very instructive, very good learning process. So if you haven't gone before, this would be a good time.
Can we, through the chair, sorry. Is it possible to more or less give you a couple day note, give us maybe till tomorrow to have this thing figured out, and we could always text you back, because I might be available. I went 2 years ago. Like I said, it's a 3.5 hour drive. And I'm assuming anyone that goes, it's one of those things where you leave after an event or after work to head down there.
Sure. So, I mean, if the commission wanted to, with Commissioner Ziegemeyer's availability, he could potentially be the voting delegate, and we could leave it at that if that's the consensus of the commission.
Because I don't think, unless I'm reading the tea leaves wrong, I don't think anybody else is interested in doing it, right? Larry, no, you got hunting to do.
No, it's really neat. I implore anyone to go. It's you learn a lot.
So I like Commissioner Elphick have gone, and I think we should have a representative there, whoever that is. I don't really care if Mike.
Yeah, I might be able to go. I'll just, like I said, I'll just see what my schedule's like. I mean, it's middle of the week, so it's nice. So it's not like you're back before Friday.
Mark, you there?
I defer to Mike. If Mike can't make it, then certainly I could.
Okay,
I'd entertain.
so we have a primary and an alternate, possibly. So what do we?
I'll make a motion for that, a primary and alternate. If I can't
Okay.
go, then,
Okay,
and then we'll
So-
let you know as soon as possible, so then you can
Great.
make the
Then
arrangements.
we can make the reservations for you.
Correct.
we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We got a motion and a second by the primary and alternate. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Okay. Executive officer report. Doug?
Okay, so we've got a couple items to talk with you about. So the first one is with regard to Senate Bill 1209. It's a bill that's currently on the governor's desk. LAFCOs have had a desire to, they've wanted to have indemnification specifically called out in the statute, because right now it doesn't address it. And so LAFCOs have adopted these indemnification provisions, but there's sometimes been a question of whether or not they would be held up to be valid. And so it's been a goal of Cal LAFCO to be able to get something into the statute, and something they've been working towards for a while. So the bill has passed the legislature. It's on the governor's desk. He has the next 25 days or so to decide if he's going to sign it. We do anticipate, I think, signature for this. It's a long time coming. It's a good time, though, with this bill that I would probably like to bring up our indemnification language and then have it run by council just to make sure it's the most current it can be. So that's really the only thing to discuss on that. Are there any questions from the commission? Okay. So the next item would be the fire service MSR. Sharina, can you advance the slide to the next one? Okay, so we have, you remember we've entered, actually go back one, there we go. So we entered a contract with RSG, had a kickoff meeting with them at the end of July. So I thought it was important, based upon the process the commission has gone through to this point, to kind of stay in touch with you and kind of let you know where things are going. Really, when you look at this, we're looking at having the MSR completed by June of next year. Right now, they are reaching out to the fire agencies, gathering data. That's going to be happening from September through November. And then they would write the formal draft document over the winter. And then in the spring, we would have a kind of a draft public review document to circulate. And then we would hopefully bring forward a final MSR SOI to your commission in June. Now, along the way, it's important to, I think, recognize that we're going to have, as part of this, some stakeholder, up to three stakeholder meetings. And so part of reaching out to the fire agencies is having them be a part of it, because we don't want anything to be a surprise to anyone going through the process. And so we'll be looking at having a committee, an ad hoc or a stakeholder meeting this fall, one before the draft document comes out, and then one after the public review portion of the document. So really I think it was important to let you know the timeline, and I'm happy to answer any questions should the commission have any.
Doug, what's the anticipated completion date you were thinking? Is it after the first?
June of next year.
Oh, geez, okay. All right,
And then,
Through the chair?
yes, go ahead.
So I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I just want to make sure that when we talk about agency interviews, because so much of what fire is doing is pre-hospital emergency medical care, that we are they are going to be communicating with Bi-County Ambulance and the emergency room.
I have stressed with our consultant that is a priority. And so they knew that going in. I will make sure that they are having those discussions with Bi-County.
Thank you.
Good, yeah, that's what my concern was too. Any other questions for Doug on this item before we move on to the future proposals?
Through the chair, on the emergency, like Bi-County, can we get, or will they give us an update on what those discussions, the preliminary discussions, if we had any questions, if they've covered enough material? I mean, I'd like to know that we're meeting the requirements we really need to.
So we can, I think it would be a good opportunity to, when we get the kind of the admin draft document, we could certainly circulate that out to the commission and have an item on the agenda to receive some feedback before we actually release a public.
Yeah, before it's in cement, I'd like to see that has been done.
Go ahead.
Through the chair, I think that we've been so involved with trying to pump this thing out for so many years that there is a huge heightened awareness amongst all, or most, if not all of us, in regards to understanding what what they're doing, I guess, and understanding that this thing is actually moving along. And this is no reflection on you, Doug. And I'm really not trying to throw shade on anybody, but I think to Commissioner Elphick is like, can you almost keep us informed about what's going on? Because it would be horrible to have this thing the can kicked down the road again. And I certainly have faith in you. I certainly believe that the firm that was selected is going to do their work. But I think what you're looking for and what I'd be looking for is periodically give us, a status report of what the heck's going on.
Since the commission only meets bi-monthly, we will have an item on the agenda at each meeting.
Well, let me ask you this. It's only an ask. Is that, we're all connected I'm assuming we're all connected via email. Is there a problem with just, hey, these things happened during this month, bullet items? I don't need a staff report, but
yeah,
these things occurred. They met with these folks. They got this feedback.
Yeah, that's not an issue. I can certainly do that.
I just think that would probably help us feel a little better that things are happening.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can
through the
take care of
chair,
that.
I think that meets pretty much our needs make us feel comfortable that it's going to get done and thoroughly done in the time frame. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Doug on this fire study? Seeing none, I guess future proposals, next item, Doug.
Okay, so I like to kind of give you a heads up before we get a proposal. And so there is one we are anticipating coming in the next few weeks. It's located kind of north of Tierra Buena, north of Butte House. There's a map up on the screen there. It's just over 8 acres, 34 single-family residential lots. They processed a proposal with the city, and that was approved. And so they're looking at the next stage, which is annexation. And so We do anticipate getting a proposal, and we would be processing that. So just wanted to give you a heads up that we do anticipate something coming forward.
Through the chair.
Yeah.
This question for Boone. So that, now you guys patrol that area right there, don't you? Or is that
Or fire, not.
fire?
not
Okay,
for
that
law.
sheriff patrols that.
Yeah,
So,
sheriff's still patrolling that,
okay.
I think, all of that.
And I'm assuming you guys have already had dialogue, you and the sheriff and so forth. And,
On this?
yes,
Not on this piece, not yet.
okay.
I haven't, staff may have, but.
So as part of processing, one thing I think people aren't always aware of is that the State Subdivision Map Act allows the jurisdiction that's going to be annexing the property to process a tentative map on the property, adopt an environmental document conditionally, meaning you need to annex. And so they have done that. And so now they would bring forward the environmental document with their annexation application. So yes, it was when it went through the tentative map process, the city did consult with, with police, fire, it's all service providers.
Sounds good.
So Doug, on this last item here, are we posting it like we?
So this would be the first
That's what I
proposal
think.
that when it comes in, you're going to see a
Signage.
sign
Good.
posted up there. Actually, I'm thinking there might be two signs. So
Yeah, I think there'd probably be.
one on Elmer
Might be two or
and
three.
one on the street on the east.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I know that I've had a conversation with whom I think is the applicant. And I know in the past, LAFCOs have tried to expand applications. We're not doing that now. Is that a policy decision for us to make? Or I know they're encouraged to not leave a peninsula and all that kind of stuff. And I look at a peninsula there. I have my own opinion about that. I'm just wondering where we're at in the state of LAFCOs, if you will, of dealing with those types of issues.
The commission has within its power to expand an annexation. During my first go-around as the LAFCO person, there was an individual proposal back in about 2004 timeframe. We did propose to enlarge it to kind of take in that larger unincorporated area, and ultimately it was rejected by voters. So to directly answer your question, no, it is not our intent to propose expanding this annexation at this point.
So then for clarification, just to make sure I'm operating on the same sheet of music as you, if an applicant is the sole owner of the property, there is no protest vote. There's no vote that's necessary. They just got to go through the process, of course, but we don't have to go out and talk to the neighbors about getting annexed into the city or anything like that.
So the commission made a policy decision, I think it was January of this year, where the commission was unhappy that with the previous executive officer, where a proposal qualified under the statute for not having to have a public hearing. And it went through the process, and then there was, I'll say, some blowback from the community that found out afterwards. So this would have a public hearing for it. But as far as a protest hearing, no, a protest hearing would not be required.
All for the public hearing, I just wanted to understand the process. Is that a non-included neighbor can't all of a sudden start raising, well, I guess they can at the public hearing, but.
Correct. Yeah. But as far as, a subsequent process after that first public hearing, it's not required.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. That's good to hear. Okay. Any other questions on this future proposals? Seeing none? If there's nothing bring before us, we are adjourned.